House Republicans are finally scheduled to vote Wednesday on a system-wide immigration overhaul, a bill that no one expects to pass and serves as just the latest data point in the years-long intra-party war between Republicans on the polarizing issue. With little fanfare and erratic presidential support, the bill represented House Republicans' most steadfast effort in decades to find a compromise between moderates and conservatives, legislation that provides a path to citizenship for recipients of the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, as well as $25 billion for border security, including the president's border wall. But the legislation also unearths a long-known, yet still jarring, reality for Republicans just months ahead of the midterm elections. After weeks of discussions, closed-door listening sessions, a short burst of administration lobbying and the blessing of House leaders, rank-and-file members still remain deeply divided about how to address and reform the country's immigration system. There's no unicorn, nothing that Jim Jordan would vote for that Carlos Curbelo could ever support, said one senior GOP aide, referring to a non-existent bill that could bridge the gap between the conference's most conservative and moderate members. And vice versa. Conservatives, afraid of how their base may react and keenly aware the bill is expected to fail anyway, don't see a reason to vote for it even if they agree in large part with many of the bill's provisions. This only works if Trump's behind us, one member said. No use sticking out our necks if the bill's going to fail. In the last few weeks, President Donald Trump has sent mixed messages. At first, Trump said he wouldn't back the compromise bill in an interview with Fox News, only to have his staff issue a statement later that day saying he would back it. Then, after visiting Capitol Hill himself Tuesday last week and dispatching cabinet officials to Capitol Hill, Trump tweeted Friday that members of Congress were wasting their time. Republicans should stop wasting their time on immigration until after we elect more senators and congressmen/women in November. Dems are just playing games, have no intention of doing anything to solve this decades-old problem. We can pass great legislation after the red wave, Trump tweeted. The move has made members skittish, especially conservatives who fear supporting anything that could be construed as backing so-called amnesty back home. But on Wednesday, just hours before the vote, the president asked members to support the GOP's own compromise bill, which he referred to as Good Latte 2. House Republicans should pass the strong but fair immigration bill, known as Good Latte 2, in their afternoon vote today, even though the Dems won't let IT pass in the Senate. Passage will show that we want strong borders and security while the Dems want open borders equals crime. When Trump tweeted. Wednesday's morning's tweet is by far the strongest endorsement, after more than a week of wishy-washy nothingness, and yes, it will likely move some votes in favor of the bill, a senior GOP aide says. But the reality is this would have been a whole lot more helpful a week ago, the aide said. As of last night, the bill was headed for a very, very bad defeat. Barring some enormous shift in the number of yes votes, specifically among conservatives, it will still go down, even with the president's support. As for the all caps, that was a personal touch, the aide said with a chuckle. We did not specifically request all caps for any endorsement. On their last conference before the vote, Republican Study Committee Chairman Mark Walker, a conservative Republican from North Carolina, told reporters that members were still hoping Trump would weigh in again in support of the bill ahead of the vote. Whether it is something positive or negative, when the president tweets, it impacts whatever the situation might be, specifically when it comes to anything we are trying to pass, Walker said. Bringing a bill to the floor that isn't expected to pass is unusual in the House, a move that leadership was forced to take after moderate Republicans nearly forced an unusual procedural maneuver last month that would have required the House to vote on a series of immigration proposals, some of which leaders did not back. As a result, leadership agreed to bring a compromise bill to the floor, one that all factions of the conference had a chance to weigh in on. But that bill, it turned out, also faced long odds. Without an unwavering endorsement from the White House, conservatives have been reluctant to back it, even as moderates entertained the idea over the weekend of including an amendment that would have expanded E-Verify and